up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. My name is Steve Fast. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today in the shop, as you can see, we have the 1995 Ram project in the shop. If you guys are long-time subscribers of the channel, you know we've done some work on this truck in the past, and now it's time to actually go all the way and get this truck actually finished. So today, it's on the lift. We're gonna get it lifted up. We're gonna actually unbolt the box, and we're gonna get the box out of the way so we can get everything underneath there all cleaned up. There's some wiring that needs to be taken care of. We're gonna do some exhaust work. We're gonna get the fuel leak fixed, because when you fire this thing up, it pukes fuel all over the fuel tank. So gonna try to address that before we light this whole thing on fire. And as you can see, we have some 37 by 13.5 Toyo Open Countries on Hummer H2 wheels. The bolt pattern for the Ram is the same. I already took a flapper wheel and took a little bit of the inside out so the hub will fit, and these things are all ready to go. And as you can see on here with the fender flares, when these wheels are on, it is going to look absolutely amazing. So now looking back at the Instagram post that I did, it kind of looked like I had like a little RC truck and then a Red Bull can beside it. But as you can see, this is a 37-inch tire next to my big Red Bull cooler here. Kind of gives you an idea on how big these tires are and how awesome this truck's going to look when it's all done. So a little backstory on this project. This actually predates my YouTube channel. I bought this truck probably about 6 years ago. I bought the lift kit for it. I bought the wheels and tires. Everything's been in storage. We moved to this new house and I really didn't have time between the Camaro projects and all the other stuff we were getting into to get the truck going. I kind of did a couple of videos here and there on it, doing the headliner and all that kind of thing, and the views just weren't there as much as the Camaro at the time. So I kind of sidelined the project for a little while, but now that we have the shop in place, we have the lift, I can work on this truck, take it apart, and not have to worry about working out in the rain or anything like that. We are good to go to get this figured out. Now the plans for this is a zone lift. We got a 4 or 4.5 inch zone lift for this. So we're gonna get it up in the air properly, new springs, new shocks, all that kind of stuff. We have the 37 by 13.5 inch tires. We got the Hummer wheels. We have new carpet for the interior. We have the headliner that we redid that I have to reinstall. I've got some Recon cab lights for it. We do have a little bit of body work to do. I'm not gonna go crazy on this thing. It doesn't need to be laser straight because we are gonna be doing a full box liner paint job on this truck. So we can take it out, have some fun with it. No worries about brush burn or any kind of thing like that. I'm not gonna worry about the paint job on this thing. I just wanted it to be all one color. When we take it out, it doesn't look like a total piece of garbage, because on the other side we have a silver fender, we have a black door, and it just kind of doesn't look right when it's not all one color. But either way, we're gonna get that all sorted out through this build process. I hope it's gonna go quickly. I do have the lift here, so we can get things done in a fairly reasonable time frame, and we're gonna be working hard on it to get this thing done, so let's get started. So for those of you who are wondering what engine is in this truck, no, it is not a 5.9 Cummins, but if we ever did want to do a swap, this would be the perfect truck for it. This truck has 160,000 miles on it. We already have the 4th gen bumper conversion. This is all gonna be painted as well. This is just kind of how it came. This has been sitting outside for probably about, like I said, about 6 years, maybe 5 years since I got the bumper, and it's time to get it all painted up and looking nice. We have the upgraded headlights. I've got LED bulbs in there. We have the Lund fender flares, which I don't think I would recommend because they're kind of cheap. I would probably spend the extra money and get the bushwhackers, but this is what we have. This is what we're going to use, and they're also really good for covering up any kind of ugliness that may be under your fenders, which is pretty common on these Dodges. But all in all, for 160,000 miles on this truck, it is in fairly decent condition. There isn't a whole lot of rust on it, so it's going to make a really nice off-road rig, I hope. We do have a little bit of mechanical work, a little bit of body work, a little bit of interior work to do. So once we got all that work completed, this thing should be an absolute beast. Let's take a quick peek inside. Gonna lube up that door a little bit. We do have the red interior, which is a little bit more rare, and we do have a cracked dash like most of these trucks. It's not terrible. There's not big pieces missing like some of them are, and you actually can't buy the top dash piece for the red dash anymore. You can only buy a cap, so I'm kind of undecided what I'm going to do with that just yet. As you can see, the headliner is out, but we're going to be putting those cab lights in before we put our new headliner back in. We actually have it done in black. These were all done in kind of a gray color, so it's going to kind of give us a little bit of an upgrade there. I do have the door panels out. I was doing a color change on those, and I was kind of in the learning process of how to do that, and I'm probably going to be stripping them down and redoing them one last time before I install them back into the truck. We do have a Bluetooth deck in there, and I do have a sub behind the seat as well, so we will have some decent tunes. All the speakers are brand new Pioneers. So this is kind of more or less a budget truck build that you can actually take on the street. It's not just a total beater that you're just going to destroy off-road. This is going to be something that you can actually be proud of, take to shows, but it doesn't cost a whole lot of money, and it definitely will do its function. So the first step in removing the bed on one of these trucks is to get all your junk out of the back, and as you can see, some has accumulated over the last few years. So let's get all this stuff out of here and let's get started on getting these bolts undone. And here it is, the cleanest this bed's been in probably 5 years. We did do the fifth wheel hitch delete. I'm not gonna be pulling a fifth wheel with this truck ever again. Not to mention that hitch did look in pretty bad shape anyways, but we do have a little bit of debris left in here, which is kind of wet. So what I'm gonna do is once the bed is detached from the truck, I'm actually gonna try to build something out of wood with wheels on it, and I could roll the bed outside so this can all kind of dry out. Then I can just blow it out with my leaf blower, get it all cleaned up, power wash it, and then get it ready for prep. We're gonna be prepping this entire box, getting all the dents and everything smoothed out as best we can. And then we can install our Raptor liner paint job and I'll be all ready to go back onto the truck. We got us a hillbilly hot rod right here. All right, now that we got it up in the air, we can take a look underneath. As you can see, we got a little weight reduction here on the shocks. Time to replace those, but our lift kit will include the new one, so we're not too worried about that. All in all, the frame, you got some surface rust and everything, but there's no holes or anything too major. Our exhaust looks like it's been replaced at some point. We do have a heavy-duty full float axle in the rear, so those big tires won't be an issue for it whatsoever. I believe this is a Dana 70 in this truck. And unfortunately, there is no locker on this truck, so I'm gonna have to try to track one down, maybe get a used one or possibly even get a brand new one. Try to make both these rear tires turn, because when you get into off-roading, definitely having a locker helps you a lot. So even though we removed the fifth wheel hitch, we do have a heavy-duty receiver on this truck as well. I've got my safety support here, just so we make sure that the truck doesn't move around on the lift at all. As you can see from the factory, these Dodges do have a pretty big lift block on them, but we're gonna have to see what the zone kit has that's gonna make this truck go up even higher. And over here you can see we got a pretty solid frame, just your standard surface rust, nothing too major. You can see the floor pans and everything look pretty good on this. On this side of the truck, we don't even have a cab corner rusted out, and the rocker looks pretty good. The only real rust we have on this truck is this cab corner and this rocker. I do have replacements for this, so at some point we might have to tackle that as well. Try to get this thing cleaned up a little bit. And over here you can kind of see where the fuel's been coming down. We do have a leak on the top of the fuel tank, and I figure we're gonna pull this box anyway because I want to clean up everything that's underneath here. There's some questionable wiring and all that kind of good stuff that people just didn't do good repairs on this truck. It was owned by a business, so they kind of beat it and didn't really care about it, and when the light stopped working they just ran a new wire, because why would you want to diagnose it? I mean, what would be the point of that? Just do the cheap easy fix. As you can see, this wire hanging down here is one of those things. It's just a wire, it's hanging, it's run to the back for the lights or the trailer wiring, anything like that. They just really didn't do a very good job whatsoever. So we're gonna be getting rid of all this kind of garbage repair work that's been done and just kind of go through this truck and make sure everything's right. So how our box fastens, you can see these supports come off the frame, and then we've got a bolt that goes into the bed. There's one there, there's one there. We've got our stuff for the fifth wheel hitch there as well that'll have to be removed. And then we just kind of move along the bed, and hopefully these things aren't too rusted on and we can get these things removed. All right, we got our trusty Milwaukee impact. I got my 15mm snap-on socket, so let's hope for the best that these bolts come out without breaking. And just like that, no issues whatsoever. Let's hope the rest of them go this easily. So I got it lowered down, and if I grab a hold of the front, you see it's pretty loose. The rear, grab a hold, still feels like something's tight, so I'm gonna lift it up once again, kind of see what might be holding this thing up. All right, these ones were a little trickier. I couldn't get my impact in there, but I do have this long 1/2-inch ratchet from Mac, and it works really, really well to get in there, get them cracked loose. Now I'm gonna grab a ratchet wrench and run them the rest of the way out. All right, we are working out our last bolt here. There's actually a couple extras that I didn't know about. So we're gonna recap on how many bolts there are holding on this bed. There's one bolt on the inside in the back. There's another one a little bit further back on both sides in the rear. So we got 4 on the inside on the rear. On mine, I do have the fifth wheel, so we have those angle brackets. There's a nut on either one of those, and then there's 2 up front. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on either side. So 12 in total. to get this bed removed, and hopefully everything is disconnected at this point. And then we could just remove our fuel filler and our wiring in the back, and this thing should lift right off. All right, I think we've got everything disconnected. I got the light wiring, everything just kind of routed underneath here. It's all disconnected from the box. Just kind of set it up here on the bumper so it's not going to get caught in the wheels when we back this thing out of here. There was a 1/4-inch screw holding on a ground. I had to disconnect here to get all the wiring up here out of the way. But other than that, all we had to do was take the screws in here out for the filler cap assembly, push that aside, make sure that's nicely loose so when you try to pull the box up, that doesn't try to come with it. It's a lot easier than trying to take the old rubber hoses that go to the tank. You just kind of let that set out of the way, and it's pretty easy to reconnect once you put the box back on. So now that we have everything disconnected, it's time to fire up the truck, back it out. We're gonna back it back in, put the hoist arms underneath the bed itself, lift the bed up off the truck, drive the truck out, and everything should be nice and free and clear. And I locked the door. But at least I got a spare. And look at that. The thing looks so different without the bed on it. I can't wait to get the whole lift kit and everything installed, get the entire thing nicely cleaned up. But now I can see exactly where our fuel leak is. It's right there. There's actually a hole right in this line that is spraying everywhere. So we're gonna repair that, and this thing should be good to go once again. So I think for the time being, we're gonna leave the bed on the lift. I don't really need the lift for anything too pressing at the moment. As you can see, I put the tire in there. It's gonna kind of give us the look that we're going for over here. I think it's gonna look absolutely amazing. I'm not entirely sure how high it's gonna sit with the lift kit. We're gonna have to wait and see until that is all put in, but just wanted to mock it up kind of to see the look of the truck with those wheels and tires. I think it's gonna look absolutely amazing, but for now, we can get this thing nicely prepped up, ready to go for our Raptor liner paint job, which I think is gonna really set this thing off. So there you have it, everybody. We got the bed off. We're well underway on the Dodge Ram project. I'm very excited for the next step. We're gonna have to go through this truck and figure out all the kind of gremlins and rusty pieces and things we're gonna have to fix on it. I kind of am a little bit worried about what we're gonna find, but either way, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it fixed up, roadworthy once again, get that thing out on the trail, have a whole lot of fun with it, and I can't wait to take you guys along for the ride. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, keep that hammer down.